Thank you so much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and presenting about climate finance opportunities in India. Uh, just walk you through, some slides which talk about what is the outlay of the climate sector in India. India has, nationally determined goals to address some of the climate-related challenges that it faces. As you can see, it is really linked to the building blocks of material existence of ourselves, which are the key elements of nature. Air, out of the 30 most polluted cities in the world, 22 are in India. Yeah. So the target here from the government is to actually very ambitious targets, you will see, and these ambitious targets are actually being put to place through appropriate policy and regulation. Target is to cut down the intensity by 45% by 2030. In terms of energy, about 70% of carbon dioxide emissions are because of fossil fuel combustion. Intention here is to cut down that by 50% by 2030. In terms of Earth, we're the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases. Water, 70% of India's surface water is polluted. We have 45% of non-revenue water, which is lost on account of commercial and technical losses. Tremendous amount of work is being done by the government across each of these spectrum. In terms of addressing the air pollution related issues, we have very advanced policies and regulations with regards to advanced chemistry, for new battery technologies. We have EV subsidies and grants to set up production linked incentives for setting up manufacturing units. Similarly, how do we increase the green cover of the country? India is one of the most advanced green hydrogen mission. Not sure how many of you know, we actually have started tendering contracts and grants to various companies, whether it's for setting up projects to generate green hydrogen or for setting up electrolyzer manufacturing capacity in the country. Similarly, one of the most advanced biofuels policy in the country, India aims to bring down its gas consumption dramatically from natural gas and divert entirely from biofuels. Lot of our households are still to be connected with water connections. Intention here is to connect each and every household with water. Today, there are common wells or offtake points in certain villages from where you need to offtake water. So there is a Jal Jeevan mission which is being implemented. Now, across each of these, what you will see is it's a real problem. It's a problem of creating physical assets on ground. If we see a lot of angel investing and VC funds are actually investing into climate, high on climate, but at the same time, more focused on technology and being asset light. On the diagonally opposite side, you have late stage funds and buyout funds focusing on setting up renewable energy assets, and those are very asset heavy, maybe not very much on technological intervention. What is the missing piece is an interconnection between the two. If we are able to solve that problem, I think that's where the real solution will lie for achieving India's climate objectives. So that's where SBI comes in. SBI, for I understand there are folks who might not be aware. State Bank of India is the largest commercial bank in India. We take pride in our legacy of nation building. State Bank of India has seeded a private equity arm known as SBICAP Ventures, which till about a quarter back used to be a step down subsidiary. Today it has become a fully owned subsidiary, which means that this is a serious business for the top management. We had about $60 million of AUM. We started late, we started small. About $60 million of AUM at the company, about 4 years back. Today we manage about $4 billion, spanning across direct investments as well as fund of fund investments. In the direct investments, we have broadly two strategies as of now. Climate action, in which we have Neev Funds. I'll walk you through Neev Funds in more detail. And real estate fund, which focuses on, again, impact, solving the projects which are stuck for want of capital, being the lender of last resort, and real delivery of assets on ground. What SBI brings on the table is best-in-class institutional parentage, strong governance, and safeguarding performance. What this has led to us, being probably one of the most preferred partners for global investors to partner in, while investing in India. What is Neev Funds? Neev stands for Foundation in Hindi. SBI laid the foundation for Neev, and Neev aims to lay foundation for not just companies in climate sector, but nascent sectors within the climate sector. And I'll walk you through how we have done it in the past. We've got 4 pillars we work on. It's organization building. Whilst everybody here, or every GP aims to do that, we actually have certain terms contracted. We've realized that the most important thing is to have a second layer of management in place, because these are hyper growth companies, very ambitious businesses, which need the second layer of management. In terms of market linkages, we do not shy away from sitting down with potential customers, negotiating on behalf of our companies, because a lot of these are young startups, large corporates from where we could potentially get contracts may or may not have that confidence. When we sort of say that SBI is backing them, it completely changes the equation. Just to give you an example, we have one of the leading hydroponic farming company as our portfolio company. In fact, we've been requesting the Indian High Commission. Yesterday we had a meeting with them to see how do we open the Singaporean markets for them to export the produce into Singapore. In terms of policy advocacy, now this is a very critical piece in India, and given our parentage, given the SBI parentage and the kind of investors we have, we have Government of UK, the European Investment Bank, JICA as our LPs in our funds. And what this does is, it puts SBI in a very unique situation where we can act as honest brokers in front of policymakers, regulators, to intervene for specific policy-related initiatives, which not only helps our portfolio companies, but the entire ecosystem. And eventually, all of these actions lead to capitalizing capital, and you will see in the subsequent slides, we have strategic investors, commercial investors, as well as DFIs, then putting in significant amounts of capital in our portfolio companies. So yeah, like I mentioned, we started small in 2015. Neev Fund 1 was a $60 million fund. We had Government of UK, SBI, and SIDBI. The mandate was very, very specific to focus on 8 low-income states of India, primarily focused on climate, but infrastructure and social sectors. That was the mandate. When we migrated to Neev 2 on the success of Fund 1, all our Fund 1 investors backed us in Fund 2. We got EIB, European Investment Bank, and JICA to make their first private equity investments in India into Neev Funds. What we did differently is, whilst we focused on the real assets, there was a tremendous intervention of technology at play, and you'll see in the subsequent slides what I mean when I say this. So when I talk of, these are the sectors that we invested into from Fund 1 and Fund 2. When you look at clean energy, in Fund 1, we did solar, we did wind generation. In circular economy, Blue Planet, which is one of the leading waste management and circular economy companies. Punjab Renewables, even, whilst biofuels is a buzzword today, we made this investment into a company in Punjab Renewables back in 2017. What this does is the agri residue, which is left over after the harvesting, is otherwise burnt in India, leading to air pollution. What Punjab Renewables does is aggregates that and feeds it into boilers, and thereby cutting down the fossil fuel emissions. Similarly, in sustainable agriculture, we invested in a company known as Leap India. They set up agri silos to store food grains, which otherwise were stored in open warehouses, which would lead to tremendous amount of food wastage. Leap India, we worked really well with the Food Corporation of India to draft the concession agreements, how to make them bankable. Here again, being SBI, SBI is the largest lender to FCI. So we had a really good voice in terms of how the policy was being determined. We helped create an industry association for this. And eventually we saw GIC coming in and investing. Similarly, in Neev 2, you'll see 31 patents filed across portfolio companies. We have a company which is setting up aluminum air-based batteries. One of its kind, India's fifth largest reserves of bauxite in the world, and that makes India potentially energy independent. Hygienco, India's first investment into green hydrogen business. We've commercialized the first green hydrogen business plant in the country for Jindal Stainless. GPS has set up Asia's largest bio-CNG plant. Solina solves the water problem by, they manufacture crawler robots, which goes into pipelines and cuts down the non-revenue water. NutriFresh is a hydroponic farming company, cuts down the water consumption. You can, farm on, non-cultivable land. Here is some of the performance that we've done. Fund 1, as I mentioned, a difficult mandate and at the same time focused on infrastructure. Fund 2 is where we have a cusp of technology and infrastructure coming together. We also won some awards about it. This is an important slide. Whilst there is an impact which gets created at the beneficiary level and at the portfolio level across various funds, what we take pride in is the ecosystem level impact. We worked with Niti Aayog, which is the planning commission, as well as various other regulators to create an impact. And that's where, Neev tries to fill in the missing middle at the intersection of technology and infrastructure. So here we're launching Neev 3, and we're seeing tremendous investor interest, from our existing investors and new investors. Would look forward to the new investors out here to sort of come and, invest into India.